Good evening, folks. Welcome back to another Monday night live stream. How is everyone doing? So it looks like we've got quite a full chat already at the minute. I'll start with apologies for last week. I'm really sorry I had to can it at the last minute. It had been one of those days. Wasn't quite feeling myself, I would say, and I don't think I'd have been much in the way of entertainment last Monday. But I'm back today. So let's have a look and see who we've got in the chat. We had Flying Mammal in very early on, giving a nice little wave. So hello to Flying Mammal. And we had Mark Burracloth as well, I think, was giving a little wave back. We also had Rain in as well, saying, "Yo, people here for the first time in ages. Nice to see you again, Rain." We've got Steve Evans in as well, who's managed to work out how the chat works now as well. So thank you very much, Steve, for persevering with that. Great to have you in the chat tonight. We've got Millennium Card Game saying you might watch this from France, Paris, Euro Disney. Alright for some, mate. I hope you're having a fantastic little breakaway there. And I wish I was there too. Flying Mammal is saying the waving at 5 PM disappeared. I think it stayed on my screen because my screen's been sitting there. But I think if you refresh it, sometimes the older stuff falls away. Who else we got? We got Patrick in as well. Good evening, Patrick. Hope you're well too, my friend. How else we got? Steve saying thanks for the help earlier. Not a problem. And Ruth saying evening there as well. Mark says good to see you in the chat, Steve. We've also got Matt Mountain in. Says, hey, what's happening, Blackjackers? Looking forward to this. It's not a hashtag Manic Monday without it. Yes, and I think you've got your last of your He's Negan minis that's getting painted tonight as well, haven't you, mate? So that'll look amazing when it's all finished as well. Good stuff, buddy. We've got Christian Reeves in as well. Says, evening, everyone. Good evening, Christian. Always good to see you in here, mate. Glad to have you along. Flying Mammal says, Manic Mondays are what it's all about. Well, for those that don't know, tonight's subject is a bit of the BlackJack Legacy Tabletop Gaming Awards tonight. So I thought what I'd do is we've had a pretty full year, 2018. Played a lot of games on this channel. I've played a lot of games kind of in my own personal time as well. So I thought I'd kind of break it down into a few little subsections and I'll come into a bit more details in that. But I'm sure Mantic will feature in some of the nominations there tonight as well. What I've done is I've got about 5 or 6 different subjects, different kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Different awards, shall we say, different sections. And I've kind of gone with my top 5 in each one, and then I've got a winner. But I'll go into a bit more detail about that in a second. So, who else have we got? Where was he up to? We've got Patrick as well, saying he's just dropping by to say hello. Then he's off. He's starting work tomorrow at 6. Thanks for popping in, Patrick. I appreciate that, mate. I know it's like when you've got an early morning the next day, and especially with your time difference. I think you're already an hour ahead as well, I think. Robert says, okay here and ready to go. Thank you for tuning in, Robert. I know you're over there in the States as well, so time difference is a big factor for you as well. So I really do appreciate you coming in, mate. We've got Neil Anderson. Says the thing about Christmas is you forget the new year is coming. You do, mate, you do. And I must admit, when I was looking tonight, I didn't realise that next Monday is Christmas Eve and then the Monday after is New Year's Eve. So this is the last Monday night live stream of 2018. So the next one will be in 2019. So all the more reason why I think the awards is good to do tonight. And also I think it's kind of, let's try and make this one go out with a bit of a banger. Let's have a good bit chat tonight. I'll stretch the awards out over the evening. But let's have a good chat. Talk about what your favourite games have been this year. Card games, board games, miniatures games, any games you've played. We can even get on to computer games as well at some point, like we always tend to do anyway. So yeah, we'll have a chat about that tonight. We've got Green Tree in, says, now then everyone, good evening, Green Tree. Horrid Person's in there, says, hi there. Hello, Jean, how are you? Millennium Card Games in waves, bonjour. Bonjour. Ça va? Steve's in as well from Steve Smallworld, says, hi all. Good evening, Steve. We've got Jamie in as well there, Devious 2K. Evening, Jamie, mate. Hope you're well. Rin says, here we go. Glenn Griffin's in as well, saying hello everyone. Good evening, Glenn. We've got, if I can just read that, Scarmia. I think it says, my eyesight's not what it used to be. Says, how are you? How are you doing, mate? Flying Mama says, feels like forever since the live stream. It's weird, isn't it? It's only been 1 week missing, but it feels like a hell of a long time ago. You kind of just get used to doing them. And yeah, like I said, I was feeling a bit off last week, and I regretted not doing it. I feel like I kind of let you down, really. You know, you get so used to doing it. It was a real tough decision to not do it, but I just thought I better not. I better not. I wasn't in the right frame of mind, I don't think. Ian Scammons says, greetings from the dank and miserable and dank Cumbria. Did I mention the dank? You did, mate. I'm expecting Christmas carols from you this evening, as you promised. We've got Lord Wolfenstein says, morning all. Good evening, Lord Wolfenstein. I'm assuming you're Australia, New Zealand, other side of the world, are we? Is that right? We've got the Real Malevolous says, hey all. Good evening, Real Malevolous. We've got Neil Anderson saying, I am proud I walked past Hazen and the Harry Potter game in a tin today. Proud I walked. You mean you didn't buy it? You're proud of yourself. Matt Mountain says categories. That's the word I was looking for. My mind was gone. Categories was definitely the right word. Thank you, Flying Mama, as well. Yes, categories was right. We've got Sean in as well. Skullmunch says, evening, buddy. Good evening to you too, mate. Patrick saying, no problem. I'd rather be damned than missing your last live chat, even if I stay briefly. Yeah, not the last one ever, but definitely the last one of this year. I'm assuming that everybody will have much more better things to do than watch me on Christmas Eve. And you'll definitely be having better things to do than watch me on New Year's Eve. That's for damn sure. We've got Tim in as well. Says, hi, Andy and all. No tuxedo for the awards. I was this close to popping it on. I did consider it, I must admit. I was this close. I just thought I'd rock up the t-shirt anyway instead. We've got Lee in as well. Says, good evening all. Good evening, Lee. How are you, mate? It says, Scarnia, I think it is now, isn't it? Yeah, it's really, really small on my screen, but thank you for the capitals. Neil says, no misses, it's Andy's last chat of the year. Yes, it is Andy's last chat of the year. We've got Michael in from Miniature Painting. Hello, Michael, how are you doing, mate? Not spoken in a little while. Lord Wolfenstein's New Zealand. Nice. Thank you very much for joining, mate. I know time difference is miles out for you boys over there. Neil says, no need to apologise. I feel like I should, mate. I've gotten into a rhythm of always doing every Monday, and last week I just, yeah, you don't need to know the details. It was one of them days. Michael says he's been away for a couple of episodes, and I'm still the most recent super chatter. You are, mate. You are. You had that little super chat battle, I think it was, wasn't it, with Paul Welch? But yes, you're still number one there, buddy. Michael says, shame on you guys, pay that token egg. The hairy egg, that's what it is. Neil says, next year I'm spending money more wisely. That makes two of us, mate. That makes two of us. Patrick says that, Patrick's having a laugh. We've got Shaggy in as well. Hello, Jack. How you doing, mate? He says, hello, Andy. Hello, all. And we've got Malkavian. Hello, Michael. How are you? So, I think I've caught up with the chat now. What we'll do is we'll talk a little bit, and this, I'm prepared tonight. Look, I've even got notes and everything. Look, 2 sheets of notes. So, what we're going to do is we're basically going to talk about different games I've played during 2018, different games you've played as well. One thing that sparked this off, and Michael kind of mentioned it in the comments on the Facebook group, I kind of asked you what your best games of 2018 was, and I specifically didn't kind of narrow it down to a board game or a miniatures game or anything like that. And the amount of different things that came back was unbelievable. And I'll go through all of the different games that was mentioned by you. And I guess there was one that was kind of voted for more than any other. Not by a massive margin, mind. And I guess I'll kind of give that one as a community vote. But just to kind of go through some of the list of actually, I'll come on to that. I'll go through that list in a second. So, the different categories, I remember the word now, the different categories I'm going to look at tonight is, I'm going to go best miniatures range. And that is basically, which company do I think have the best miniatures range? Who sculpts the best theme, that kind of thing. I'm then going to go on to the best card game. I'm going to go on to the best board game, the best miniatures game, and then my game of the year. And I've just seen flash it on my screen there. Michael, that is very, very generous. It's massively appreciated. I don't really know what to say, mate. You didn't have to, but I do really, really appreciate that, mate. Thank you very much. And thanks for what you do as well for the community as well, mate. I know this is kind of, it flashes up on my screen, but you do a lot for the community as well, mate. So thank you very much. Really do appreciate that. It's kind of caught me off guard there. I'm sorry, mate. Where was it? Yeah, game of the year as well. That was the last one. But what we'll do is I'll not rush through them all in one go. I'll break them down. We'll spread them out over the night a little bit to keep the chat going. But I want to hear from you as well. I want to hear from you guys. What do you think your best games have been this year? And I want to put some context around it as well, because these games that I've got on my list, I've only included games that I've played. So if I've not played the game, it doesn't mean I think it's a bad game, and it doesn't mean that it's not the best miniatures game out there or the best board game out there. But I can only really contextualize the games that I've played. So the games that are on the list are only from things that I've played in 2018. It also doesn't mean that they're all new games either. If there's a game on there that's 20-year-old, but I've played it this year, or I've only played it for the first time this year, potentially could still be on the list as well. So I'm sure you might not agree with my decisions, or my choices, I should say. You might not agree with those, but certainly next year we'll be playing more new games. There'll be more stuff on there, and the lists will continue to change. But like I say, these are just games that I've played. So what we got here. Lord Wolfenstein says it's 10 AM here. Nice hot sunny day. Oh, I wish it was a nice hot sunny day here, mate. We had a little bit of snow, not last night, the night before, and it was about kind of 2 or 3 degrees today. It was a bit chilly. Another reason why you'll see as well. Actually, you might not be able to tell. I'm actually back inside the house now. You might have saw some of the pictures on Facebook during the week. It was getting really cold in that garage. It was taking a little while for the heater to heat it up. And the whole point was I was meant to dive in and kind of do something quite quickly and then get back out of there. So I'm in the hobby room now. I've got it all set up quite nice. I've got a gaming table here, kind of set to play board games and stuff with the family, and I've got all my stuff set up. I've got a nice little tight shot on the camera though, so I'll give you a bit of a show around the place at some point. Let's have a look. Michael says it's good to be back. Jamie says I personally was let down, but I'll let you off as you have a nice eat. It's freshly shaved today as well, mate. It was getting a bit fluffy, so I've done it especially for you, Jamie. We've got Tony Booth Leiden in as well, says good evening. I'm used to seeing spooky thing on there, mate. It cut me off there. Good evening, Tony, mate. I hope you're well. We've obviously got that massively generous donation from Michael as well. Thank you, buddy. Skullmunch says best game for 2018 for me is Keyforge. Interesting choice. Ruth is saying, wow, Malkavian. Yes, wow. Neil says, I bought a lot and played a lot this year because of this channel. Sorry, mate. If you're playing more, that's a good thing. I apologise if you're spending more as well, though, however. Michael says, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you and your family too, buddy, mate. Jamie says, categories, best Mantic game begin with W. There's some Mantic games in that list as well, because I do play Mantic games. So they're going to be in there, but there are other games too. Lord Wolfenstein says, Last Days Zombie Apocalypse, due to after 18 years with my wife, is actually playing tabletop game. Wow, that's interesting. It's amazing. There's a lot of stuff on my list as well. It'll be shaped by the fact that I was trying to introduce my kids and trying to introduce my wife and my family as well into playing more games as well. So it's not necessarily all the big hitters that you'd expect to see there. Jamie says best Mantic game played on a Monday. Michael says he can't beat that, mate. Jamie says best Mantic game play with miniatures. I think they're all played with miniatures, isn't it? That's the whole point. Neil says no categories for mold lines. Best mold lines. That's what I should have had one of those, shouldn't I? Jamie says best Mantic game played in 2018 and best Mantic game that wasn't kickstarted. That's one game, as Michael said. Patrick says my best games 2018: Bolt Action, Test of Honor, Kings of War, Horizon Wars, and Vanguard. Michael says that's all you played. You'd be surprised actually when I went back over the list. There's a lot of stuff that I didn't include that I've played. Because I've literally picked my top 5 for each section, so it's quite interesting. And there's some that I've potentially left out because I've not played enough of them either. So there's some that I probably may have included with another month or two down the line, but I've not played them that much to really see that they've been the best ones this year. Where are we at? Michael's saying his favourites were Vanguard and Kings of War. Jamie said best Mantic game that wasn't cynically robbed from Games Workshop game. Ooh, controversial. I think all games are robbed from somewhere, mate. I think there's certainly even Games Workshop games have been robbed from Tolkien and everything else, haven't they? So I guess everything's been interchanged that way. Michael says he's tend to like a bit of Magic the Gathering again. Nice one. Phil Johnson. Good evening, Phil Johnson. He says Kill Team's actually got him rolling dice regularly again. Easy to get people to play because everyone has 40k and only requires an hour or so. Yeah, that definitely it's hit a few spots this year, I think. Jamie's on a Mantic Downer tonight. Says best Mantic game that wasn't developed by an X Games Workshop. That's what happens when you live in the Nottingham belt. Everyone's X Games Workshop at some point. If you're a company that employs 1,000 people, they're going to go off and work elsewhere, aren't they? I mean, that's just how it works. It doesn't matter whether it's Warlord, whether it's Riverhorse, whether it's any of the companies down there. They all have XGWs. Lee Millward says really love Shadows of Brimstone, although hooked on the Walking Dead minis lately. And Mark says tabletop wise, Walking Dead. Board game, Hellboy. Card game, Keyforge. And special mention to Dungeon Saga. Now, Hellboy was one that I didn't include in the list. And as I mentioned, another reason I've only included the game if it's available to buy as well. Because I'm in quite a fortunate position. I get to try out a lot of games before they're ready for retail. So I've played things like this year. I've played Hellboy. I have played Crowdfunder, the card game. I have played Mockingjay, the board game. I've also played. I obviously played Vanguard as well before it was out, but then I guess everybody got access to those rules. But if the game isn't physically available to purchase at retail, I've not included it either. Jamie says he'll stop it now. Michael says should be Vanguard. Ronnie just play tested there. And Formorian says mine is Vanguard too. I think with that, then what I'll do is I'll come on to the community stuff. So in the Facebook group, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. There was 23 different games mentioned in the group, which I thought was really interesting. And I'll go through those games just to kind of tell you the breadth of games that people have said have been their best. Not only are these are games that people are playing, these are games that people have said have been their best game of 2018. So we've got Burrows and Badgers. We've got Warhammer 40k, unsurprisingly. We've got Kings of War Vanguard. We've got Saga. We've got Dead Zone. We've got Bolt Action. We've got Wild West Exodus. We've got Star Wars Legion. We've got The Walking Dead. We've got Necromunda. We've got Kill Team. Horus Heresy. We've got Speed Freaks. Got Gasland. Gangs of Rome. Star Saga. Age of Sigmar. Frostgrave. Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeon Saga. Kings of War. Middle-earth strategy battle game, and Warpath. So that was a hell of a lot of different games that people, like I say, not only did they kind of have they been playing, they said it were their best games this year. And there was only 1, 2, 3, 4. There was only 5 games, I think it was, that only had 1 vote. So that's quite interesting. There's a real breadth of games being played in the BlackJack community, if you like, and it's really good to see that it's not just one game kind of dominating the scene these days. It kind of comes back on to what I was talking about in one of my videos about how I think Kickstarter has kind of helped Games Workshop. Games Workshop have smashed it this year. They've definitely had I mean, last year with the launch of 8th edition was a big year for them, but this year I think they've really kind of taken it on another notch as well. Where are we up to? We've got Bloggy in as well. Good evening, Bloggy. How you doing? Next is, hey guys, how's everyone's week? Merry Christmas. Patrick saying, gotta go now. Merry Christmas and a great new year. To you too, Patrick. Thank you very much for all the live streams you've been in this year. Really do appreciate you coming in. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you and your family. Christian says, same to you, Patrick. Robert saying, Walking Dead, All Out War and Star Saga is what he's been playing the most, but Dead Zone is his favourite. Michael says, was about to reply to Patrick, not open for translation. Steve says, best game, Dead Zone all the way, only started this year and love it. And Matt says, any game that requires me to paint models, you're definitely getting plenty of models to paint this year, mate. So Jamie's out, and I'll read his all together. Best game he's played this year: card game Keyforge, board game Time Stories, war game 40k/AOS. that's interesting. Time Stories is still not something I've played yet, actually. So I'll be interested. I remember you mentioning it a little while ago, and because it's a game that gets spoiled if you know about it in advance, kind of thing. I've tried to avoid sort of any reviews and things. I just kind of went off the fact that you said it was a good game, and at some point I'll definitely play it. Glenn is saying Blood Bowl for him. It's not even on the list, Glenn. Blood Bowl's another one. So he's gotten back into miniatures after a long absence when he picked up the starter box back in January. Ian shouting "Yay for Gaslands." Yeah, there was 2 votes for Gaslands. I think one was yours. Ruth is saying, usually I remember all the games I've played and who with. This year, all I remember is half a year of Gloomhaven. That's quite interesting. Half a year of Gloomhaven. To be honest, I tend not to remember. If it wasn't for the fact that I've kind of got YouTube videos and I've got the Facebook group and kind of Instagram and Twitter to go back over and look at all the different bits and pieces I've played, there's some games I forgot I'd played, really, which shows that they're not in the top 5 in that case. But yeah, I've kind of forgotten about some games I've played. Jamie is also saying best skirmish game is Bolt Action. Never played Bolt Action. Always meant to, but just never played it yet. So again, just because it's not on my list doesn't mean it's not a great game. But however, what I would say was, of all the things that have come out of your list, there's some games on here that are probably more popular than I thought they were, and it probably might prompt me to give them a go next year. Ruth is saying card game Goblins. I've never heard of that, but I like the sound of it already. Rain says his favourite and least favourite BlackJack. Great way to spread some goodwill. Favourite and least favourite BlackJackers. I don't think I want any least favourite ones anyway. Tim says Burrs and Badgers is superb. Some of the best minis around. If I can get the Weekender, I'll run a demo game. That would be really awesome if you could, mate. Yeah, just touch it on the Weekender as well. I kind of have to apologise to the top table guys, really, Jay and Steve. I've kind of I've been a little bit off the boil lately, and my head's been all over the place, and I've probably not given that the attention it deserves. But for those that don't know about it, we're planning a really fantastic weekend. Dates have gone up my head now. 22nd to the 24th of March next year in Element Games in Manchester, or Stockport near Manchester. There's going to be some events there, so there's been confirmed there's going to be a strategy battle game. Kind of 2-day event. There's going to be I should have wrote all this stuff down now, shouldn't I? There's going to be a kill team event. There's going to be a guild ball event. There's going to be a drowned earth event. I'm trying to put on a Walking Dead and a Vanguard event as well, but I've never run an event before, so it's filling me with a bit of dread, really. So I'm going to need some kind of help to get those ones off the ground. But on top of that, there's going to be demos. There's going to be companies there demoing games. There's going to be open gaming as well, so board games. People can bring their own stuff and just kind of play stuff there as well. We've got Luke from Luke's APS coming down for the weekend as well, so he's going to be kind of hanging out and sitting chatting about terrain making and giving tips. We've got the guys from Flame, what they called again. We've got a really well known, not to me obviously, painting studio. They're going to come down. They're going to be giving some kind of tips and little bits of painting techniques and little lessons over the weekend as well. There's going to be a quiz, a gaming quiz on a Saturday night. There's going to be a live stream with Q&As on the Friday night. Plenty to do. I know there's a few of you who have already bought tickets. I think Sean and Ruth have already got tickets. I think Michael's already got a ticket. Tony's already got a ticket. It'd be great to see some of you down there. So I will be getting on the case and pushing it a little bit more and kind of putting a bit more framework around it. So I kind of publicly apologise to Jay and Steve. I've not been giving it my full attention, but those guys have been right on it, and they've been blasting it out. Shadow and Flame, that's it. Jamie, thanks, buddy. It is Kev, yes. I've just said at the bottom of the screen there. So yeah, that was the Weekender. Jamie saying best newcomer. Newcomer's a sort of one that I didn't put in, actually. Blackstone Fortress. That's interesting. I've still not played it yet. I'll be honest, the original Games Workshop videos kind of put me off a little bit, but some of the stuff I've seen elsewhere has made me think it's a bit more like Silver Tower. It's more like I hoped it would be, and less like it came across in those videos. Mark says biggest disappointment of the year: Harry Potter by Night models. Oh, and Neil saying good category, biggest disappointment. I've not kind of, you know me, I'm not really on the downside of things. I've not put biggest disappointment in there, but I'm sure I could come up with, some. Jamie is saying Wild West Exodus is his biggest disappointment. That's interesting, Jamie, because I'm hearing loads of good things about it now. I was kind of with you, and at the first time I played it, I was a bit, oh, I'm not really sure. But yeah, it's picking up. It's picking up. I think at the minute, it seems to be kind of getting back on track. Jamie is saying you can do it, Andy. Don't worry much and have some fun with it. Yeah, I'm all right, G. I think it's just the fact that I want the weekend to be fantastic. I'm just kind of conscious that we've got a lot going on, and I want to make sure that I can get around and make sure everything's happening, rather than just trying to kind of spend my time organising one little event within the bigger event. I want to make sure I can kind of get round and make sure everyone's having a good time and help where help's needed, really. Jamie says, I'm going to come. My mum just lives around the corner. Nice one, buddy. Thank you very much for that. Ruth says, got our masks and shirts ready. Jean says, I have my eyes on those models, especially the big up Chaos Space Marines. And Jamie says, how can Becca Scott put you off? To be honest, it's not Becca Scott. I think the fact is, she is a good presenter. She generally, I mean, she is a gamer. She genuinely seems to kind of transmit that she's kind of having a good time, in that almost you've got to be a little bit kind of a bit more animated, but she does a good job of it. I think the problem is when she does it with kind of some of the GW guys, people like Duncan and Peachy, they're not presenters in the same way, I wouldn't say, and it sometimes looks a little bit awkward. So it's not Becca Scott. Skimea says only decent self-contained games GW have done are Space Hulk and Hero Quest. Yep, they're up there on the shelf, mate. I do like Silver Tower Mine. If you've never played Silver Tower, that's definitely worth a shot. Neil saying he loves Space Hulk. Hero Quest wasn't GW, it was licensed to Milton Bradley. It was Games Workshop made it though, wasn't it? I'm sure it's got Games Workshop written on it, or maybe Citadel made the miniatures. But yeah, Milton Bradley definitely were the producers of it. Glenn says, I don't like Becca Scott's approach to teaching the rules for games. Jimmy says he doesn't care about her approach to teaching games. Art Wilson says, good evening all. Got the AOS bug again. Some exciting news on Warhammer TV, it seems. A certain AOS skirmish is to be revisited. Heard a box set similar to Kill Team will appear in the new year. That is exactly what they need. Without a shadow of a doubt, that's what they do. If ever they thought the success of Kill Team should definitely have told them there's a market out there. And I think especially with Vanguard being on the shelf now, Warlord Games are releasing their own fantasy skirmish game as well. It makes sense that they get in on that action as well. And good evening, Art, as well, by the way. Did you also see tonight as well, I think it's been announced that there's the Warhammer 40k animated. I don't know whether it's going to be a series or a one-off, but I think it's called Angels of Death, and it focuses on the Blood Angels. That looks quite interesting as well. What's your thoughts on that? Jean says it amounts to an awkward blind date that fell on its face. Yes, that's exactly how it feels when I watch it as well. It definitely just seems a little bit awkward. I'd rather they just got like actors in to do it, if you like. If they're going to spend that kind of money and do it like all professional, or not get Becca Scott involved and just get the team in and have it a bit more down to earth, just folks playing and having fun. I think it's that kind of juxtaposition of the two of kind of that high energy kind of presenter and the slightly awkward on camera thing. Gary Hollandale says, hey you handsome devil, sorry I'm late. Hey buddy. No, don't worry about being late, mate. It's nice to have you here. Tony is saying to Fly Mammal, I bought a red lumberjack shirt just for the occasion. I'm going to have to wear something different. Maybe I'll wear a suit just to kind of catch you all off guard. We got Tiberius Wallace in. It says Space Crusades where it's at. I dueled to the death the bar to say it's better than Hero Quest. Jamie saying Vampire Silver Marines. Jack saying, yep, new TV show looks interesting as long as it's better than the Space Marine movie. That was disappointing. Yeah, I bought that DVD back in the day. Yeah. And Jamie says, I miss is it Seri or Kerry? Yeah, she's kind of more like what I kind of would have liked to have seen. Gene is saying Rangers of Shadow Deep is my pick for new rules. I wanted to put together a solo playthrough at some point. I've been watching a bit of that on the Guerrilla Miniature Games channel. It looks really good, actually. And Ruth says, you did say I should cosplay. Not as me. Tony says, this year, Guild Ball, Kingdom Death Monster, Walking Dead have all taken up the vast majority of my hobby playing. And Jack says, BlackJack Lumberjack Legacy is a go for March. Jamie says, good job we have a high energy presenter. I mean, it would be tough to choose over Becca. Yes. So, let's get on to the first category. So, this one is for the best miniatures range. And as I mentioned before, there might be better miniatures out there in your opinion, but I've never had them in my hands. I've never physically seen them with my own eyes. I've never kind of cleaned them. I've never put them together. I've never painted them. So, again, what I've said is my top 5 in no particular order. I'll tell you which one my winner is, and I'll explain why some of them are in there and why the winner was the winner. So, best miniatures range. I'll have a drum roll from the crowd. So, the first one on the list is the Infinity range from Corvus Belli. So, I very recently got some of those, and I'll be honest, I was really, really impressed with just the quality of them. Metal miniatures was something that was a little bit I've never used metal miniatures in quite a long time, especially with Games Workshop moving away from metal and going into fine cast resin. So metal was a bit of a flashback or a bit old school. However, the quality is not to be denied. And if you haven't seen them in the flesh, definitely check them out. The second one is the Vanguard miniatures from Mantic Games. And I've included these because the new stuff, especially the resins and the new plastics, is amazing. If you haven't seen them, honestly, I can't stress enough, check them out. The next one is Warhammer 40k from Games Workshop. No surprises there. Would I say they're getting better? I'm not sure they are getting better. What I would say is they're at such a high level that pretty much everybody else has been playing catch up for quite some time. I don't think they're doing anything really that they haven't been doing for a number of years, but they are amazing quality. Next up, also from Games Workshop, is the Age of Sigmar range. Whilst again quality up there with 40k, I think I've included AOS separately because I really think that they've been trying some different things with some of the miniatures this year. The Deepkin and some of the new stuff that they're doing. I forget what it's called now, but that new model that looks like a kind of like a flayed body with the harp. They really are kind of pushing the boundaries a little bit. And the last one on my list is Guild Ball by Steamforged, and I've put this one in because their single piece plastics are probably up there with the best single piece plastics that are out there. So as a game that you can just go and buy a box set of miniatures, sometimes when you can buy those kind of ready built minis, they strike that balance between not great quality to kind of get usability, if you like. But I would say that Steamforged have some really, really crisp details, nice plastics. The quality of the plastics is good as well, and you can see from the kickoff set right the way through to their later guilds now, up with kind of the Farmers Guild, the Navigators Guild. They really, really have kind of you can see how they're getting used to kind of the sculpting that they can do for these single piece miniatures. So let's see. Actually, no. I'll tell you what. I'll announce who my winner is, and then I'll go into the chat. So my winner for the 2018 BlackJack Legacy Best Miniatures range goes to Games Workshop for Warhammer 40k minis. I mean, it's been close this year, and I wouldn't say that most years it would be close. Games Workshop have always been streets ahead of everyone. I think everyone is catching up. The Infinity range is unbelievable. The new Vanguard, especially the resins, but the plastics too, are the best that Mantic have ever done. The Guild Ball stuff, whilst it's not the same quality, I would say, as 40k. it's fantastic quality for what it's trying to achieve. There's not a lot of single piece miniatures out there that are at that level. But yeah, Warhammer 40k stuff. Obviously, I've spent quite a bit of time with Kill Team this year, so I feel like I can kind of include them this year. I've been painting some of the Death Guard up. I've even gone back and sort of dug up some of my old Orc stuff that has been kicking around for like 10 years, and the quality is unbelievable. It's still dead crisp. The quality of their plastic's great. Even if you're talking some of the terrain and stuff, yeah, they're still number one. Everybody's catching up with them, but yeah, they've got it down to an absolute T now. So let's have a look and see who we got and what's happening in the chat. People are saying BlackJack Legacy Lumberjack T-shirt. No, there's a one. Gene saying need set but only an electronic copy. Hate reading from screens. Jack says you could make a fortune with a checker T-shirt with an Andy mask on your store. Neil is saying 40k GW. I think you saw that one coming, mate. Gary is saying the drum roll sounded like he was motorboating. Tony, Gene is saying beautiful sculpts. They intimidate the hell out of me when it comes to painting them. I assume you mean the Infinity ones, mate. Yeah, Tony's saying the Infinity minis are a bit tasty. I actually didn't find them hard to paint. I actually really enjoyed it because the details were so crisp. It was almost kind of like obvious where the brush had to go. I really enjoyed painting them. Neil says, boo fix. Tiberius is saying the best minis range is Kev White and hassle free. I've not had any of his for a long time actually. Lord Wolfenstein, seconds that. Kev White, love his minis. Michael is saying that I made it in Holland. Jack's saying Atlantis miniatures are awesome also. Yeah, I did get one Atlantis miniature in one of the model boxes that I received, and it was really, really nice, but I'm just not familiar with their entire range. Tony's saying the Guild Ball minis are great for one-piece minis, really enjoyable to paint. Yeah, that's kind of why I've included them, really. I think it's almost they've managed to kind of, within the limitations that they force upon themselves with the single-piece miniatures, they've made some beautiful, beautiful sculpts. Gene is saying he's up for some 40k when they release the new Chaos. Matt said he loves the Vanguard models, but do agree GW at the moment are in a league of their own. I've bought a lot of it lately. Yeah, I mean, as I said, I think Mantic have really closed the gap. They've come a long, long way. But GW are going to take some catching. They really do have some beautiful models. Neil says, whoop, their work to eradicate mold lines is superb in 40k. Yeah, that's one thing. It's definitely the way that they have their fits now. It covers a lot of the points where you clip them off the sprue, and it covers a lot of the mold lines as well. They've done some really, really good work. Ruth is saying, to be honest, you're right, but I guess they have had the most practice. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to kind of almost sort of say that somebody else is really close, and I think people are getting closer. But yeah, they've got so much practice. They've got the facilities. They've got the sculptors. They're the winner. They're by far the best in my opinion. Lord Wolfenstein says too expensive to buy GW stuff here in New Zealand. I buy more Mantic Warlord hassle-free minis. Yeah, that's one thing I haven't taken into. I should probably preface that as well. One thing I haven't taken into account here is price. I think it's purely down to have I enjoyed playing the game, and it's not whether I think I've had value for money out of them. I think that's something a little bit different, and I think value for money is really subjective. Depends on how much you've got to spend, and it also depends upon how much you get to play it and what you compare it against as well. So yeah, I've just gone for my opinion on what I think of the games and the minis. Gene says props to GW's Forge World Specialist Edition. The Necromunda and Blood Bowl figures were really impressive this year. Yeah, I was just looking over my Necromunda stuff again last night, and it's amazing just how nice those Goliaths and Escher models are. Gary says the Walking Dead models are good and getting better. Same with Protoss, Alien versus Predator stuff as well, yeah. Gene is saying love the Walking Dead range, great figures and a joy to paint. Yeah, I mean, again, for single piece kind of miniatures, I mean, I know they are stuck together by the manufacturer, but one piece miniatures, again, I think they're fantastic quality. And at the time when they first came out, it really pushed on Mantic to a different level again. I just think some of their new stuff now is even better. So whilst I don't think they're bad miniatures at all. I think they're great miniatures. They're certainly not up there with the levels of Games Workshop. but by the same thing, they're not up there with the experience and with the sculptors and the manufacturing footprint as well. Tiberius says the downside of inventive mold lines is that fully modular models are gone. Yeah, potentially, I get that. And Jamie saying, yeah, value for money is too subjective. It definitely is, mate. There's too many factors in there, and especially when you start factoring in things like exchange rates as well. So I guess you generally agree with that. Let's get on to the next one. So, best card game. Now this has been interesting because card games is something I've played quite a bit of this year. It's kind of how me and my wife first started playing a lot of games at home. So we first started playing with Star Wars Destiny. It was one of the first kind of games that was kind of outside of a comfort zone, should I say. Definitely something kind of a little bit different. However, I've not played a lot of Destiny this year, so it's not on the list. But the 5 that are on the list, the first one is Love Letters by a company called AEG. I picked that up on recommendation from, I think, from some of you folks when I was picking up kind of small card games to travel with. And we played a lot of it. We really, really enjoyed it. It packages up nice and small in a nice little velvet bag. Plays really kind of quickly as well. Really quick to pick up the rules. I've played it with my wife. I've played it with my wife and the kids. I've played it with my sister when she was looking to try and get into board games and card games as well. So, yeah, Love Letters by AEG. I'm just saying here, Tiberius is saying, is that a pint of vodka? I wish, mate, it's just water for the throat. I've got a bit of a sore throat this week. The second one on the list, and again, in no particular order, is Exploding Kittens by, I think the company's called Exploding Kittens, actually. It's kind of almost a bit cliched, really, to have it on the list. However, again, it's a game I've played a lot of. The list, I would say, certainly reflects kind of my gaming group, my gaming family. And definitely, Exploding Kittens is one of them games, really quick to learn, really quick to play, quite fun, kind of really sort of light. And the fact that we kind of, we've played multiple games and keep going back to it and play again, definitely warrants its place on the list. Like I say, it might be a bit cliched. However, if a game's fun, a game's fun. So if you've not checked out Exploding Kittens, definitely check it out. What I would say as well is anything that's on my top 5 list here, I'd kind of recommend them all as good games. I've not put anything in a top 5 that I wouldn't recommend. The third one on the list, that's 3, not 5, third, is Zombie Flux by Looney Labs. Again, it's another kind of small travel card game that I picked up to take away with us. And again, we played it quite a bit. So the Flux is the original game, and you can play the original Flux with the cards that's in there. You take out some of the kind of zombie expansion bits, so you can play that to get you used to the basic rules. And then once you're kind of comfortable with that, you can add in the zombie cards. And I really, really enjoyed it. Again, it's I like the way the rules keep kind of changing, but because the rules are on the cards and they're in play on the table, it's really easy to keep track of it. And I like the fact that there are lots and lots of different themes to Flux as well. So you can have, I just saw somebody talk about Batman there. There's Batman, there's Back to the Future, there's Star Wars, Flux. There's loads of different themes. So if you're trying to get somebody into gaming, Flux with one of the themes that appeals to them, it's not a bad way to do it. Fourth one on the list is Smash Up, again by AEG. I think it was Christian Reeves that recommended this one to me. And again, me and my wife play quite a bit of it. For those that don't know, it's basically you have lots of different decks inside the box. You have like a pirate deck, a dinosaur deck, a zombie deck. Trying to think now, I'm looking on the box behind me. Aliens. This is it anyway. If those that don't know it, Smash Up. So there is pirates, there's ninjas, there's wizards, I think it is, or magic or something like that. Essentially, basically what you do is you choose two decks and you smash them up together. So you can have pirate ninjas, or you can have zombie aliens, or you can have dinosaur pirates, whatever it is. And basically you have to kind of play those cards against each other. Really fun game. Again, rules are dead easy to pick up. That's the fourth one on the list. And the last one on the list is Keyforge by Fantasy Flight Games. Quite a relative new game to the list. Only just kind of started playing it recently, but have picked up about 6 decks now. Picked up the starter box, been playing it with the kids. They like it as well. I've played it a little bit at Manchester when I've been down at Element Games as well on an evening. And we've chatted about it on the stream here as well. So yeah, Keyforge is the 5th one on the list. Let's have a quick look and see what's happening in the chat. Michael is saying Mantic is filling gaps, but the steps they made on PVC is gigantic. Yeah, definitely. Horrid person saying to Tiberius, try wet sanding the mould lines on your Walking Dead figures. The blades butcher the surface. Ian is saying can't beat Munchkin for a card game, though they'll have bought Exploding Kittens for Christmas. I think there's actually a Warhammer 40k Munchkin now as well. I've not played it, but I have seen that it's a thing. I should say. Jamie is saying love letters is great. Yeah, it might have been you that recommended it, Jamie, and I really did enjoy it. I think there's only about sort of 14 cards in the deck for everybody to play with. I couldn't believe a game could be that small and that much fun. Flying Mammal saying love letter original or Batman version, the best ones. I didn't even know there was a Batman one. Glenn said Arkham Horror for me, can play it solo but difficult even on easier setting. It's a game I almost picked up this year actually to play solo, but I just never got around to it. Ruth, yeah, they just talked about mold lines there. Ruth saying Zombie Flux is the best Flux. Nice, yeah, I really like it. I really like it. Neil says nearly bought a Harry Potter card game today but wasn't sure on it. Yeah, I'm not. I think Mark's saying there was it Hogwarts Battles, but not seen it. We got Hal Martin's just popping in. Evening, Hal. He says just wanted to pop in and say hello. I'll watch and catch up after the dive vacation. Yeah, forgot you were out in the Caymans, mate. Thank you for popping in. If you watch this back, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you and your family, and I hope you have a fantastic holiday, mate. Tony is saying to Neil, if it's Hogwarts Battle, it's really good. He can't stand Harry Potter. Looked like a chest box. Yeah, I think that's the one. Michael says, actually quite surprised Dark Souls, a card game, and Star Realms is not on the list. They're not on the list, mate, because I've not played them. Pure and simple as that. I've not played them. And Jack says, Coop is still my favourite card game at the moment, but tried Citadel card game is good too. So, the winner, best card game in the 2018 BlackJack Legacy Tabletop Awards goes to Keyforge. The reason I've given it to this is twofold, really. One is I think it's a fantastic game. I love the fact it's this kind of unique sort of no two decks the same. I love the fact there's no deck building, because deck building is the bit I enjoy the least when it comes to card games like that. And I love the fact that almost sort of when we've been playing, some decks will be more powerful than others. That's just kind of the nature of the game. As in, when you're playing Magic, there'll be some decks that are more powerful than others. The difference being that if you keep getting beat in Magic, it's hard to tell whether you're just not a great player or whether you've built a really poor deck. In Keyforge, you can blame the deck. You can say, oh, the deck was garbage. Let's swap decks. You play with mine, and if you can beat me with that garbage deck, then we know that I'm just not a great player. And I've found playing with my lads that even the decks that don't perform very well, I want to keep playing them. I keep thinking, there's got to be a trick in there somewhere. There's got to be something that kind of unlock the way the deck plays. And we've played them again. And then there's the point where it's a case of, let's just buy another deck. I think it's like £8 for a deck. It's not like it's spending a lot of money on it. So I just find it really kind of interesting. There's a few kind of tournaments springing up now. And one of the tournaments is basically where you play each other with your deck. And then after the first round, you switch decks and you play each other with the opponent's deck. And if it's a draw at the end of that, then you basically bid on chains of how many chains you have to play the third game with your own deck. And then there's other tournaments where it's blind packs. So you literally pay your £8 to enter a tournament or £10 to enter a tournament. You get a sealed pack and then you just play that tournament with that deck. And I find that really quite interesting. It's not a pay to win type thing. So you can buy one deck and just play with it and dip your toe in and try it. You can keep buying decks trying to hunt down this kind of more powerful deck or something like that, or the kind of combinations that you like. I just think it's really unique and really, really different. So, we've got Barry Kleiber. Good evening, Barry. He says Keyforge definitely fun. Picked up our first 2 decks at a local store. Learned to play pretty quickly. Also playing 5-minute dungeon with the kids. They were 11 and 14. Nice one. Flying Mammal saying have a great dive trip. Michael says Dark Souls, the card game, wants to be hated. It's that hard. Jack says I'm not a big card game player, but did anyone have a go and like Warhammer Champions card game? So it's really closely linked to Light Seekers if you've played that, because it's by the same company, Player Fusion. I did download the app for my phone. I'll be honest, it was a bit like it just wasn't as straightforward for something that I was going to play quite casually, and I also wasn't that kind of I wasn't that keen on buying more blind packs. After I feel like I got kind of stung a little bit with Star Wars Destiny. It wasn't exactly what I kind of thought it would be. Flying Mammal says drum roll, and Sean says good lad. Michael says get playing Star Realms, you shiny egg. Well, if we play it next year, you never know. Jamie seems to be happy with that choice, and Tony says I'm impressed by Keyforge, particularly as I get bored deck construction. That's me as well, mate. I mean, I like the idea of Magic the Gathering, and I really enjoy playing Star Wars Destiny. But when the meta keeps changing, when a new kind of wave comes out, and everybody's chasing these certain cards that are the most powerful combinations, and then the new wave comes out and you've got to go buying again, that was where I kind of signed off. And I spent an absolute fortune on Destiny cards to try and build a few kind of decks, really. With Keyforge, I love the fact that you can literally just buy one deck and that's it, not buy anything more, but you've got as much chance of kind of winning with that deck, I guess. Jamie saying innovative, fun, unique, and cheap to get in. Good choice, I approve. Yeah, definitely, mate. Michael says I love you can just buy a deck and play it without the hassle of deck building. Makes for a fun casual game. Yeah, that's me as well. I'm not going to be kind of touring the world playing the game kind of thing like some Magic the Gathering players. And I think with Magic the Gathering it's so expensive, you really do have to sink time and money into making that your game. I like the fact with Keyforge that I can buy one deck and I can play it quite serious. I can go to tournaments and do all that kind of stuff, or I can just have a few games with the kids at home. Neil says, are you able to mix decks? Neil Moxie and no there. Yeah, so basically when you get a deck, the back of the deck has unique art on the back and has a unique name, and every card in that deck has exactly the same artwork and exactly the same text on it, and you can't mix decks. That deck of 36 cards is your deck. That's it. You can never mix them. You can't do anything with them. That is your deck. Tim says it's cracking, but addiction to finding that perfect deck could be costly. Love the card art and mechanics too. Yeah, it's definitely got a kind of League of Legends feel to it. Definitely. That's how it feels to me anyway. I think the thing is that the way they're going to start doing it is if there are some decks that become kind of super powerful, they're just kind of, I think they're basically going to chain them to the point where you won't really be able to play them in tournaments. So I think it's almost kind of self-balancing over time. We've got Robin as well. I don't know if I've said hi to you, Rob, or not. Good evening, Rob McFerrin. Says managed to squeeze in at the end. Looking forward to watching the full stream tomorrow. Thanks, buddy. How are we doing for time? We've seen that at the end there. Bloody hell, I better get a move on here. We've got a few things to talk about. I think you're basically answering all of the questions there as well. About Keyforge, I'll be doing a review and I'll do some gameplay on the channel as well in the new year, I think, or maybe over Christmas. Because now I've got my starter set, I've got all my tokens and bits and pieces as well. But we've been playing a little bit of it here at home. Right, next one. Best board game. Now again, as I mentioned before, I've been quite fortunate to play quite a few board games that are not available to buy yet. So they haven't been included. So for games like Hellboy that I really did enjoy playing, it's not on the list because it's not available to buy. And if truth be told, I don't think I've really played the latest version of it. It could have completely changed since I played it. I did back Resident Evil 2, and they're currently being shipped at the minute, and I really wish mine had arrived so I could have played it and then possibly had it on this list as well, but it's not arrived yet. So who knows? I assume it's going to be into next year now before I get that. So I'll go down the list. And again, these are my top 5 in no particular order. So first one, here's Negan by Mantic Games. Really did enjoy that. Had my first demos of it at the Clash of Kings weekend with Clive Stone from Mantic. Had a few demos of that. Played one game with Michael as well while I was there. Really enjoyed that. And then obviously since it's arrived, I've been playing it a little bit solo. Played a live stream of it. I've played some games with the kids as well. And really enjoyed that. Good kind of dungeon crawler with the Walking Dead mechanics. Next on the list, Pandemic Legacy. So I picked this up on recommendation of some of you folks, I think, as well. I couldn't decide whether to get Pandemic or get Pandemic Legacy. And basically, once I'd understood a bit more about it, you can actually play the standard Pandemic game with Pandemic Legacy before you start going through the kind of the legacy part of it. So yeah, so I picked up Pandemic Legacy, and I've been playing that again with my wife and with my kids as well. Next up, an older one, Gears of War by Fantasy Flight Games. So I've had it for quite some time, but I did play it a few times this year as well. And every time I get it out, I think, you know, I really like this game. I like the Gears of War computer games. I like the miniatures that come in it from Fantasy Flight. They're really nice. And I like the way it really closely kind of mimics the game as well. So you're doing those roadie runs, you're doing your reloads, you're kind of hiding behind cover, you're throwing your bolo grenades. I just think it really captures the theme of the game, as well as being a really fun game to play, and you can play it solo as well, so it kind of gets a double tick. Next on the list is Silver Tower by Games Workshop. So I played quite a bit of that this year. Some of the guys from the gaming group would come over on a night time, and we'd play kind of like through a couple of quests, a couple of missions. And the more I played it, the more I kind of got to enjoy that one. Some really kind of nice little neat rules in it. I like the way the quest book is a little bit like a choose your own adventure thing. And there's a real nice kind of theme and story to it as well. Obviously the miniatures are absolutely fantastic as well. And the last one on the list, and a bit of a late entry actually as well, is Dungeon Saga from Mantic. So you can just see it here. I managed to pick this up from Rob, who's in the chat tonight. He had 2 copies of it, so he sold me one of his, and it was something that a lot of you had been telling me about. And I actually, for the first time, I played it this weekend, but I did play quite a few games this weekend, so I really enjoyed it. I like the fact it's reminiscent of Hero Quest, brings back kind of some of those memories of being a kid. Really simple to get your head round, but there's definitely some kind of tactics in there as well. Ramps up as you kind of get a little bit further through the missions and the stories as well. Nice miniatures in there, sort of single piece, stuck to the bases, coloured plastics which make it easy to kind of recognise the different miniatures. And yeah, just quite a really kind of straightforward, simple dungeon crawler. Really enjoyed it. So, which of those is my favourite? So, the winner, Best Board Game 2018 BlackJack Legacy Tabletop Awards is Pandemic Legacy. So the reason I've gone for this is I really just kind of, it's a game that got all of the family kind of playing together. So me, my wife, my 2 twins, we all sat around the table and played it together. And we basically got our asses kicked the first time. Then my oldest lad decided he wanted to go off and play on his play on his PC, and the 3 of us stayed and played again. And we played a bit. We played a second game, and then Sam went off and he wanted to play kind of on his computer. I chat to his mates. Me and my wife had a 3rd game straight after it. We then we were talking about it afterwards. You know, what could we have done different? How could we have done this? Me and my wife then went back and played it again a few nights later. We're planning to have a playthrough another one of the legacy kind of months on Christmas night. So when me and my wife and my 2 oldest lads are kind of, after everyone's gone home and we've got the evening to ourselves, we're planning to have a game in here as well. It's just a game that's kind of gripped us, where we all kind of sit around a table. The fact that it's co-op, the fact we can all kind of help each other. We're not trying to beat each other, and I just find the kind of the theme and the story really interesting. The other games on the list ran it close, I'll be honest. I would say definitely Here's Negan is a really close second, because I've really enjoyed that as well. I love the fact how it's kind of got that competitive, cooperative element to it. But yeah, Pandemic Legacy has been my best board game this year. So what we've got there, we've got a few. Tiberius is saying bloody loves. Oh, sorry, Glenn Seymour just snuck in there as well. Says, good evening, Andy. Can't stay, unfortunately, with an early start in the morning. Just popped in to wish you Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Looking forward to the weekend in March. Cheers, Glenn. Thank you very much, mate. You might have already gone by now, but thank you very much. We just chatted about the weekend earlier on, and I'll get some more information about that one up soon. But yeah, looking forward to catching up with you, buddy. Tiberius is saying, bloody love Dungeon Saga, better than Hero Quest. Bard, come at me, bro. Flying Mammal says, drum roll, and yes, go Pandemic. And Mark said, what shocker there. What can I say? I mean, like I say, it's only the games I've played, and if I go by, I have of all of the different board games that were on the list, I've played much more Pandemic Legacy than I have anything else this year. Skullmunch says, favourite board game for me is Gloomhaven. Special mention the Heroes of Blackreach and Nightvault. No, that's not cheating. To be honest, Nightvault and Shadespire, I wasn't really sure. Are they a card game? Are they a miniatures game? Are they a board game? I wasn't sure where they fitted. Jamie says, the chat is 30 seconds ahead of the video for me. It's spoiling the suspense. I don't know what's happened there then, mate, because actually the chat actually went dead for a little while. There was nothing, nobody there. Flying Mall said, sorry. Michael says, Aristia not even on the list. The reason it's not on the list, mate, is I have not played it enough. I'll be honest. It's a game I really like. It's a game I intend to play more of. But what I would say was, over the year, these games have absolutely kind of they'd be my top 5. If I was going to have a top 6, Aristia would have been in there as well. But yeah, I've just not played it enough to kind of pit it up against them. It's a game I really do enjoy. But yeah, I need more game time on it, I think. Yeah, so that was best board game. So, best miniatures game. This one, so miniatures game, I guess it's anything where skirmish game to full-size sort of 6x4 table. The kind of the real kind of meat and bones when you think of war gaming and miniatures games. So not necessarily, not played on a board, things where you'd have terrain, that kind of stuff. So that's what's in my my miniatures games. So Robert's just saying, just played first game of Haze and Egan, learning the rules, so when my wife plays it, it'll go smooth. She promised, so I'm holding her to it. Yeah, it's worth having to play through yourself, mate. There's a couple of, I wouldn't say they were tricky rules, but you just need to see them play out to get your head around how they work. The ones around when you bring walkers in and you put them on the entry points, that one just takes a little bit kind of getting your head around when you've locked rooms and stuff like that. But yeah, you'll whiz through it, mate. No bother at all. So yeah, best miniatures game. I'm just kind of conscious of the time because it's 5:10 now, and I want to have a little chat about it as we go. So 5 games, only games I've played this year. So things, as spoiler alert, as things like Bolt Action. I'm sure it's a great game, but I've never played it, and I've not played it this year. So that's why it's not on the list. So first one on the list, Kill Team by Games Workshop. I spent a lot of time playing Kill Team this year. Not so much kind of towards the end of the year, and I am getting back into it. But Kill Team, for me, really did flick a switch when it came to kind of Warhammer 40k. It really kind of got me interested in building to a bigger 40k army at some point. I found the rules really quite straightforward to go through. I loved the fact that kind of all of the army lists and stuff were in that original book. And the terrain and everything was fantastic. I really did get kind of swamped in Kill Team for some time. Second one on the list is Kings of War Vanguard by Mantic Games. Again, I probably played as much, if not more, Vanguard than I did Kill Team this year. Really enjoyed it. Nice to see kind of Mantic bring a rule set that was it wasn't an afterthought to kind of sell a few more miniatures, if you like. It really was a game designed from the ground up, and there was a whole world around it and the miniatures range to support as well. The third one, and maybe a little bit, not controversial, but maybe a little bit kind of unexpected, is X-Wing by Fantasy Flight Games. So myself and my son Sam used to play a lot of X-Wing, and we certainly did at the start of this year as well. We went to the UK Games Expo in the summer as well, and kind of gave 2.0 a try as well. And we've since played a bit more of X-Wing 1.0, if you like. and there's just something to be said about pushing spaceships around a kind of an asteroid belt and stuff. It just feels like Star Wars. I love the fact I'm a massive Star Wars fan, so there's an element of bias in there anyway. But I just love kind of pushing those the X-wings and the TIE fighters around, and the Millennium Falcon and the Slave One. It just feels thematic, and I love the little templates and stuff. It's nice, kind of. It feels like Star Wars. So that's why that's on the list. Fourth one is Walking Dead: All Out War by Mantic Games. Walking Dead always kind of has a place in my heart. It's the game that got me back into miniature gaming. It's the game that got me started with the YouTube channel, and I tend to go quite big periods with not really playing it, and then when I play it again, I remember just how good it was. I went to my first tournament for Walking Dead not too long ago, back in November. Had a fantastic day there as well. Really enjoyed it. Again, I played against Michael there as well, and we did some live streams. If anybody hasn't seen those, it's just a game that I just thematically and kind of, I love the miniatures. I think the rules are great. I love the fact it's on a small board, so it doesn't take a lot of kind of terrain building. I love the fact it's easy to teach, and the fact that you can play solo or competitive or cooperative. And I like the fact they're also expanding it out into a different world as well. So yeah, Walking Dead had to be in the top 5 there as well. And the last one on the list, the 5th one, is Star Wars Legion from Fantasy Flight Games. So again, a massive Star Wars fan, that goes without saying. Legion there, I was really excited for Legion when that was coming out. I was quite hyped for it. I got a kind of, that wave of hype kind of took a dip because it seemed to take forever to come out. But then when I actually got it, I painted up all the starter box, which is not something I do very often for games. For all I didn't really enjoy painting up the Stormtroopers so much, I'm really glad with how they came out, and I found a way to do them a bit quicker. I got my board set up, I've got my terrain and everything. I played a lot of games of that this year with my son Sam, and I just find it a little bit different. I find it different to most other kind of war games. Just the fact I like the kind of random order where you almost kind of betting on right. I can go with, like, I can choose which more to activate, but I'm less likely to get first activation. It feels like Star Wars. I love the way you just move your unit leader and everybody else just moves to within a range of it. It's just really thematic. I think it's suffered this year. The expansions haven't really come quick enough. Excuse me. They haven't really come quick enough. And I think that's led to a little bit of kind of lag in the community around it. But there's no denying it's a really good game. I really enjoy it. I'll continue to play. I haven't spent a lot of money on kind of expansions or anything because I'm enjoying playing with what I have at the minute. But it's something I do think that next year I might kind of open my wallet and maybe buy a little bit more for it. So I'm just seeing some things there. There's people saying there. Some big hitters on the list. Skullmunch is saying strategy battle games, he's winner for 2018. Mark saying to Jamie, how could you say that? What did Jamie say? I must have missed that somewhere. So, games that are not on the list. No AOS, no 40k. The reasons are I've just not played them this year. I've not played 40k. I do want to play it, but that's the reason it's not on the list. Not because it's not in my top 5. I just haven't played it. It's the same reason things like strategy battle games not on there. It's the same reason things like Bolt Action's not on there. Infinity was something that was kind of close to getting into my top 5, but I haven't played enough of it yet. I've played a couple of kind of starter games, and I haven't played the full rules yet to decide whether I think that's a game that's kind of worthy of being in my top 5. It's kind of an honourable mention, I would say. I've really enjoyed playing those kind of starter missions, but because it's not the full rules yet, it feels a little bit kind of fake to not have that one. Am I missing some chat in here? I wonder if there's some chat going on that I'm kind of missing. I'm assuming you can all still hear me, can you? You can hear me? And you know what it is? Because I think Jamie seems a bit lost off there. We've got Division 1 Champs has just popped in, says late arrival here, looking forward to watching from the beginning. Said he's taking advantage of your video lag. Sorry mate, I don't know what's happening with the video lag if the chat's dropped out a little bit. So yeah, it looks like it's lagging for me. That comment just popped up there saying 8:10, and it says it's saying 8 minutes past 10. Sorry, and it says it's 10 minutes past 10 on my phone. Anyway, so those are my top 5: Kill Team, Vanguard, X-Wing, Walking Dead, and Star Wars Legion. So the winner of the BlackJack Legacy 2018 Best Miniatures Game is Kings of War Vanguard by Mantic Games. This was probably of all of them, this was the closest. It was between this and Kill Team for me. I'll be perfectly honest. I've played a lot of Kill Team, and I've played a lot of Vanguard this year. Kill Team I played quite a bit kind of when it first released through the summer, and Vanguard certainly towards the end of the year, October when it was released as well. And I really, really enjoyed both of the games. The reason I've given it to Vanguard is because I think Mantic really kind of stepped up their kind of game. The packaging for the game is fantastic. The marketing for the game was fantastic. The miniatures for the game have been fantastic and really stepped on their quality. The rules for the game are really good. They're really clear. They're straightforward. They're fun to play. It feels like a different game. I like the way you've got the kind of force fatigue. The way you're kind of stressing your models to do other things. So yeah, Vanguard, Mantic Games is my miniatures game of the year. Neil is saying, shut up, boo, fix. Skullmunch says, I demand a recount. And Neil Anderson says, recount. Well, it's funny you say that. So, this is the list of the stuff that you guys voted for as well. So, the top 3 games from your so there was a tie for 3rd place, and this is what you voted for as well. The people in the Facebook group. In tied 3rd place, we have Warhammer 40k, we have Gangs of Rome, and we have Dead Zone as well. So that was the tie for 3rd place. In 2nd place was Kill Team. And with 1 vote more, in 1st place was Kings of War Vanguard. So it was your favourite game as well, from a group perspective. Anyway, so yeah, you can have a recount, but you guys voted for it as well. No, I'll honestly say that one was the one that was the closest. Kill Team was really, really tight. The only reason I think Vanguard kind of swung it for me was I think it was an unexpectedly good game this year. I was expecting Kill Team to be good. You know, like it's based upon a really kind of well-known IP, and the miniatures were already available, so you could literally go from day one and go out and buy whatever you wanted. Vanguard was a bit of a surprise hit for me, and I really do like it. So yeah, that one. Everyone's saying knocked up Brexit. Steve is saying Vanguard, hurrah! At least it was a GW game. Skullmunch saying he has Kings of War Vanguard printed on a double-decker bus. So, and he was a sheep. Charming. That's how it is, eh? No, well, like I say, that's my miniatures game of the year anyway. And yeah, it was the community's vote as well for game of the year. Up there, like I said, we've got all sorts in there, from things like D&D, Frostgrave, AOS, Star Saga, Gaslands, Horus Heresy, Speed Freaks, Necromunda. But yeah, Vanguard and Kill Team was your 2 favourites as well. Glenn is saying 2018, the year of the quicker to play smaller skirmish games. I think it certainly has been. I mean, but for me personally, that's what I've had more time for, I think. It's allowed me to get things painted up, and it's allowed me to play them. I just kind of, it fits with my kind of my time available, which is why Kill Team and Vanguard have been a big hit for me. So, either I'm as a sheep or it's a good game. No, it's definitely a good game. I have to get the last of the year. And yeah, you've got two live streams that I won't be here for, so you've got to get all that ribbon in now in the last, how are we doing? The last 15 minutes. So, with that said, come on to the last one, which has been my game of the year. And that is all of the different games that I've played this year, everything that's been in the list, everything that's been in the top fives. So it's unsurprising, basically, that chances are the winner's going to come from one of the different winners. And the winner of my game of the year, the one I've enjoyed playing more than anything else this year, has definitely been Kings of War Vanguard. It was my miniatures game of the year. It's been my game of the year. I've just really enjoyed it. It fits with my time. It fits with the kind of play space that I like to play on as well. Smaller skirmish games. I like the fact that it's kind of 90 minutes, something like that. I like the fact it plays fast. And I really like the miniatures that Mantic have done this year. And I can see that Jamie's already having a bit of a ribbon. Obviously not his kind of taste. But that's the beauty of this. This is why we all like different things. Next year, who knows what it'll be. But yeah, I've really enjoyed Kings of War Vanguard. However, there are other games I do want to try. And again, like I said, the list that's on here, there's so many games on this list that you guys are all playing, you guys and girls. Why would I not want to try some other stuff as well? Robert's saying he's going to get into Kings of War next year as well. Neil says fix. Steve says hurrah. Yeah, it's like I say, it's always going to be one of them things. There's lots of games I've not played, so I can only actually sort of give my votes, if you like, to the games that I have played. But yeah, when it comes down to it, it was a real close run for miniatures game between Kill Team and Vanguard, but Vanguard was the winner, and that's why Vanguard is my game of the year. It's the one that I've played the most of. It's the one I've enjoyed, sort of my hobby as well. I've enjoyed it from a hobby perspective because I've sat and I've painted and I've kind of learned the rules and I've built terrain and I've put them tables together. I enjoyed filming it when me and Sam did the filming for it as well. And I've signed up for a Vanguard tournament in February as well next year. So yeah, definitely looking forward to playing more of that. Jamie says, anyway, he's eating too much cake. He has a headache, so he'll be retiring now. Have a good Christmas, everyone, and thanks for all the videos, Andy. You're welcome, Jamie. Thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated. And thanks for your Patreon donations this year as well. They were really, really, really appreciated. Yeah, so that's it, folks. That's been my games of the year. So just to recap for anybody that kind of snuck in late, best miniatures range went to Warhammer 40k from Games Workshop. Best card game went to Keyforge from Fantasy Fight Games. Best board game went to Pandemic Legacy by Z-Man Games. Best miniatures game went to Kings of War Vanguard by Mantic. And my game of the year was Kings of War Vanguard. So, King John says, Kings of War, Clash of Kings 2019. Yeah, I'll need to... I'll need to get to that. Jamie's saying this video brought to you by your friends at Mantic Games. Other games are available. Jamie, I can 100% hand on heart tell you that I have no affiliation with Mantic other than the fact that kind of they support me and I like to play their games. I played Mantic Games before I ever did this channel, and I'll continue to play Mantic Games long after this channel either kind of keeps going or doesn't exist. Unfortunately, the list is going to reflect the fact it's only the games that I played this year. I've always played Mantic Games. There's going to be some of them on the list. Doesn't make me biased. Doesn't make kind of I'm not getting any bonuses to be voting them games of the year. It's my honest opinion. You might not agree with it, but it's my opinion. Flying Mammal says awesome awards live stream. Well done, games. Skullman says what are people looking forward to in 2019? Yeah, that's a good one. Well, let's wrap that up. What games are you looking forward to in 2019? Flying Mammal says, happy Christmas, everyone, and thanks, Andy, for being ace. Thank you for staying till the end. I know you're probably dozing off there, but I really appreciate you staying till the end as well. Skullman says, Mantic have smashed it out of the park this year. I think they've had a really good year, to be fair. They've really brought some good stuff out. There's been some other companies who've had good years as well, but yeah, I think I would say this has been Mantic's best year, and I think that's kind of reflected in the fact that they figure quite heavily in my stuff this year as well. Jamie says, I'm only pulling your leg. I know you're I wouldn't say I'm wrong to say you're anti-Mantic. That's not the case, mate. I know they're not your kind of games that you enjoy. I know you're a much bigger fan of things like Warhammer 40k and stuff, but I would definitely say give them a try, so you can at least appreciate kind of why I say what I say. What I would say is that there's a lot of things that I get offered from companies now as the channel's grown a bit, that I don't always accept, because they're either not the kind of games that I like to play, or I just don't have time for them, or I don't think the audience is the right fit for the games as well. So I've only got so much time that I can fit them in, so I tend to only play the games that I know I'm going to enjoy. So I tend not to play something that I haven't researched beforehand. Plenty of good games out there. Next year will be a different year again. Where have we got here? Robert is... where are we at? Neil is saying, do a video on your winners. Do you think that's worth it, folks? Would you want to see a video on the winners after that? I suppose we don't have to go into detail. I could probably just kind of summarise what I've said on the winners, I suppose. Robert says, yeah, love Mantic. All started with Walking Dead. Yeah, did for me as well, mate, really. Michael is saying 2019, lots of Vanguard. Are you going to the tournament in February, Michael, as well, are you? It'd be good to see you there, mate, if you are. Neil says, cheers for opening my eyes and my wallet. Sorry, mate. Tony is saying March. I'm not sure what that fits with, but yeah, March. Tiberius is saying, looking forward to getting stuck into playing everything I've painted. King John says, happy holidays. Thanks, Andy. Love the channel. Thank you very much, King John. We appreciate you coming in, mate. Robert says, go for Hellboy as well. Yeah, does anybody know when Hellboy's due to ship? I've got no idea. I'm kind of completely lost off with dates for that kind of stuff. Neil says, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Neil, and your family, mate. And a Happy New Year as well. Glenn says, possibly picking up Necromunda and or Star Wars Legion 2019. Two good games, mate. Necromunda's kind of piquing my interest again at the minute. My local club are getting really deep into it. I did kind of dig my box down again yesterday and start reading over the rules. So I might get some games of that in next year. Steve Evans is saying 2019 more Kings of War. Really looking forward to Clash of Kings 19. Yeah, I've started my Dwarf Army as well, so maybe I'll get some games of Kings of War in next year as well. It's a game I've always wanted to play, but the building the big armies always put me off in the past. Skullmunch, best video game of 2018. For me, what's my best game is? I haven't played a lot of video games this year, I'll be honest, but it's a close run between Black Ops 4 and Spider-Man, I think, for me. I think that's probably the two I would kind of put up there. Jack saying 2019 Reichbusters will arrive. Could see more time. Also interested to see Metal Gear Solid game. Yeah, I saw that as well. Not really. Don't know much about it, I should say. Jimmy's saying Hellboy and City Fight from Games Workshop. City Fight. Are these the rules for City Fight? Are they in the new? They're not in the chat to approve me, are they? Let me know where they are, because I'm trying to remember where I've heard that from now. Barry said he loved X-Wing, great game, played a lot, including leagues. They kind of lost me as more and more waves came out. Too many updates and deck building. Had to take a break and haven't jumped into V2 yet. Yeah, I played really, really casually, like literally just like with my kids at home and stuff like that. And never took it too seriously. Never chased the meta. Didn't even know what the meta was really outside of what we played at home. Neil said he's come circle back to 40k and Kill Team for next year. Yeah, I think Kill Team for me 40k might be something next year I dip into. I've been chatting with a couple of the guys from my club about coming over, playing a game. Like let me use your models so I can play a game, because I'm really interested. It's obviously not a bad game. There's too many people play it for it to be a bad game. But the barrier to entry for me of getting an army ready is always a big barrier. I think sort of looking into the game, it feels like things change quite fast before I've had a chance to really put an army together. I think if I can actually play a game and sort of give it a try, that might change my opinion on it. Well, not that I've got a bad opinion, but it might kind of give me the, what's the word I'm looking for? Give me the impotence to kind of go and to go and build an army because I've played it and I know it's fun. So yeah, next year, who knows? Christian says, happy Christmas everyone, thanks for all the content this year, Andy. Thank you very much, Christian. I'll probably do a bit of a kind of a New Year's resolution video, I think. because I'm planning to kind of set myself a target for next year. I can't kind of like, there's no point me saying I want to have this many subscribers because that's outside of my control. I can't control how many people subscribe to the channel. But what I can do is I can make a commitment to make a certain amount of videos next year. So I'm going to set, next year is going to be the year that I absolutely push this channel to the best of my ability. I would love to kind of make this into something that is almost like a sustainable part-time job, if you like. I would love to kind of to do this as a career, whether it be making videos for companies, like promotional videos, or whether it's just kind of making money from the YouTube channel to be a kind of a full-time job, or you know what I mean, as full-time as it could be. So this year, the next 12 months coming is the year I absolutely push this to the limits, put all of my spare time into it, do everything I can to make this channel the best channel on YouTube from a gaming perspective. And I can only do that if you guys help me when I'm kind of you know, tell me when it's rubbish, tell me when it's good, kind of help me kind of shape it. Because this year, I would say, I know you guys have watched it, but I've made the videos I want to make. I've made them for me, if you like, and I've made videos that are just of the stuff that I've enjoyed. Next year, if I want to up the output and do more videos, I need to kind of get out of my comfort zone, and I need to start making videos about the stuff that you guys want to see, as well as the things that I enjoy doing as well. Now, I love all aspects of the kind of gaming hobby, whether it be board games or tabletop games. So just because I'm not playing something doesn't mean that it's a bad game, if you like. So yeah, that's where I'm going to need your support next year. You kind of keep me on the straight and narrow, keep me the right way, and I'm going to absolutely smash it out next year with all the videos. Where we bloody hell, I've lost the chat now. Oh yeah, Christian said that. Flying Mama said, looking forward to March. You already forgot your own event. Yeah, I've got that as well. Got my head's all over. Mark said, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to Andy and all. Jamie says, you do right. I just don't like their business model. Although I backed Hellboy to the big box evil pledge. Such a hypocrite. Hey, that's what I love about this, Jamie. We can all have different opinions. We don't all have to agree on everything, but we all share a love of the hobby. Doesn't matter where you get your enjoyment from, whichever game it is, we're all in it for the same reason. That's what I really appreciate. Matt says, looking forward to next year. Got big plans. It's not like I'm going to be that busy after April. Yeah, watch this space, mate, for your big plans, eh? Flying Mammal says, Plants vs. Zombies Heroes. There's a game. Christian says, Hellboy's February, March, I think. I had March in my head, mate. I think that's about right. Tiberius says, Shenmue collection. Mark said, Hellboy's March, but I think April will be more likely. Yeah, I think so as well, mate. Tony said he's looking forward to March as well. Skullmunch said, I think Spider-Man for me too, or God of War. God of War is a game I definitely need to play. I just saw that it won Game of the Year, didn't it, in the recent Video Game Awards. So yeah, I definitely need to play that. King John says, new Fireforge games, Undead Army coming in May. Interesting. Jamie said it's a new supplement coming early 19 after Vigilus. I thought it was in Vigilus, that's what I was trying to think of. Oh, cool, mate. That might be the thing that kind of like pulls me in again then. Impetus, not impotence. I think I said impetus, didn't I? Did it sound like impotence? I meant impetus anyway. Tiberius says, I get that. In the time it took me to get my Dark Angels together, 2 editions of 40k came and went. Yeah, I bought in big when 8th edition launched. I got all the indexes, I got the box set. I had high hopes of really like, this is it. It's more like AOS. I was playing a lot of AOS at the time. This will be the point where I get in. And I just kind of got sidetracked with not building them. But I've got used to my airbrush now, I think. And I kind of seem to be able to blast through things a lot quicker now. And I'm also not focusing on everything being kind of the best of my ability. I think now I'm quite comfortable with just getting it to a level. So I think if I can have my first taste of the game and see what it's all about, if I really enjoy that game, I think that will be enough to kind of tip me over into a full army. Glenn says, Happy Christmas and New Year to you and your family, Andy. Have a great channel. Thank you very much, Glenn. That's much appreciated, mate. We're coming up to time now, but we'll go through the rest of this chat because I'm enjoying it. Jack says, next year I want to play more Vanguard and Kings of War. May even dip into Walking Dead. Also need to sort out Shadespire. See what Santa brings. Yeah, I tell you what, if you guys can get to the event the weekend in March, it'll be a perfect time. Let's just kind of get some games out and play a few games together. I mean, I'll be perfectly honest, really selfishly for me, it's a perfect opportunity to have a weekend of playing games and playing lots of different things as well. So I really want to see as many of you folks there as I can, and I want to play as many games as I can with you folks as well. Steve says, hope you have a great Christmas and New Year. Big thanks to Andy for the shows. Thanks for watching, Steve. If it wasn't for you folks, I couldn't do it. Flying Mammal says, we're here for you, all the emotion. I love doing this. I mean, last week when I was kind of on a bit of a downer, it was kind of work related, really. I'm having a bit of a, how can I put it? I'm not enjoying my job, put it that way. And it's difficult because where my job is in a completely different county. It's over in Manchester. I have to travel to it. The kind of work that I do isn't really available in the Northeast. I would have to travel somewhere else if I decided to change jobs, and it's not the easiest thing kind of to do. If I could make this into a quarter of the kind of the salary that I make now, I kind of think that I kind of feel like I would love to kind of try and do something with this, whether it's kind of, you know, like I said before, like doing promotional work for other companies as I get better with filmmaking and all that kind of stuff. I'd love this I'd love to be able to get up in the morning and really look forward to kind of my day ahead, if you like. So yeah, next year I'm going to put absolutely everything behind it. I don't really want to see a number of videos now because I need to kind of calculate it, but I'm thinking like, no, I'm not going to put a number on it yet. Tiberius says, to be honest, it's the best way. Loads of channels on YouTube that are folk that wanted a YouTube channel and then decided it was whatever it was, granted mostly in video games. Yeah, Robert says he's looking forward to next year. Tiberius says, if it's videos you wanted to make, then that's real passion instead of thinking about trying to get hits on stuff you don't care about. Yeah, I mean, what I would say is I'm not going to change kind of my my approach. It's worked quite well for me so far. My channel's doing well. Kind of subscribers are up and my views are up and all that kind of stuff. And I'm happy with what I'm making. All I'm thinking is that when I move forward next year, if I really want to kind of smash out multiple videos a week, I'm going to have kind of more stuff to cover. So I have to widen my search a little bit, if you like. But that doesn't mean I'll be playing stuff kind of that I don't like just for the views, if you like. Definitely not. Robert says, have to go. Merry Christmas, everyone. Hope it's a good one. Thank you very much, mate. Thanks. I really appreciate that. Michael says, Merry Christmas all. Thanks for your hard work, Andy. Enjoy the break. Thanks very much, mate. I don't know if I'll get much of a break, to be honest. I'm still going to be making videos over the next few weeks, so I'll still be putting videos out. But to be honest, I love doing it, so it's not like it's hard work. I will have a break from work, which means I might be able to get more videos done. So that'll all be good. Gene says, best wishes to everyone in the new year. I'll be sure to post holiday cat pics on the Facebook group. Thanks, Gene. Appreciate that. Steve says, I would have come to the weekender, but it's on the same weekend as FranticCon. Yeah, I've had a chat with Ben Edwards about that as well, because it wasn't like we're kind of intentionally trying to set up like a rival event or anything. It was just the only weekend we could get Element Games for. It was absolutely chock-a-block for the rest of the year. And I'm hoping by avoiding the games that he's already put on, things like Kings of War, things like Dreadball and Dead Zone, by avoiding those games and being so many 100 miles further north, I think we'll divide the player base a little bit. I don't think he's stealing anybody really kind of from me, and to be fair, they announced theirs first, and I don't think we're going to be really stealing any from him either. Matt says, have a great Christmas and New Year, mate. Gonna have to find something to watch while I paint for the next 2 Mondays now till you're back. We'll bug someone else with my Mantic Monday for 2 weeks. I tell you what, mate, I'll try and get a video up and then I'll at least have something for you to watch for 15-20 minutes anyway. Jack says, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all. See you in the new year, Andy. Thanks, Jack. Really appreciate that. Skull Munch says, hashtag top bands, hashtag top holes, hashtag peace out. And Mark says, I really want to go to the weekender, but it's the wife's birthday that weekend and I can't afford to lose them again. No, you need to stay at home for the wife's birthday, buddy. Believe me, there'll be other events, and I'm sure we'll cross paths at many other events as well. You make sure you do right with the family. And I'll leave this last comment now. It's to Ian. Merry Christmas, everyone, and a great gaming new year. So yeah, I'll end it on that. Thanks everyone for watching. Thank you for all of your support through 2018. Thanks for all of your donations, especially Michael this evening. That was real nice surprise. Thank you for all of my Patreons as well. I'm going to look at Patreon next year as well and try and kind of up it a little bit and try and make it a bit more worthwhile for you to be one of my Patreons, maybe with some t-shirts and maybe dice or something like that. And yeah, I'll end it on that. Merry Christmas to everybody. Have a wonderful Christmas. Have a wonderful New Year. I wish you and your family all of the best, and I'll see you all in the next video.